They say every civilization leaves behind something. A monument, a book, a whisper in the dark. But what if someone collected them all? Every lost world, every dead people, every forgotten soul, and stored them somewhere no one should ever go. This is the story of Dr. Layla Farouk, who thought she was exploring ruins on a distant moon. But what she found was a library filled with ghosts. In the year 2379, humanity had spread across the stars. Layla Farouk, a renowned linguist and archaeologist from Cairo, was chosen to lead the mission. Her task: decode the symbols carved into the walls. Her team: 4 scientists, 1 AI assistant named Echo, and a military escort. So when they entered the structure and found what was inside, it was quite the shock. Endless halls, millions of chambers, and at the center of each room, a black sphere humming with energy. Layla felt it first a pull in her chest like a half-remembered dream. She reached out to touch it, and in that instant, she heard a whisper, not in her ear but in her mind. A whisper that said, "Welcome home." And then everything changed. Echo scanned the sphere, not a power source, a memory. Suddenly, the room shifted, not in physical space, but in time and memory. The floor rippled like water, the walls bled color, and the sphere glowed brighter. Then images filled Layla's mind. A sprawling city beneath 2 moons, its towers scraping the clouds. People with skin like polished obsidian and eyes like pools of starlight, their laughter echoing in the plazas. The sphere showed her their homes, their markets, their wars, their festivals, their children playing, their lovers embracing. It displayed the rise and fall of an entire civilization, its hopes and dreams, its fears and failures, its triumphs and tragedies, until the very end. The sky turned red, the earth cracked, the people cried, and then there was only darkness. When Layla opened her eyes, Echo whispered, "You just witnessed the history of Planet Ulna, a highly advanced yet peaceful civilization that thrived here until 12,000 years ago when their sun went supernova, killing every living thing on the planet." Layla stared at the sphere. How could this be? How could this machine hold the memories of an entire world? Then she noticed something. Each sphere was like a key, opening not just a record of the past, but a window to another dimension where time flowed differently, where shadows stretched long and thin like spider legs, where whispers echoed with voices that seemed close yet were impossibly distant. The more Layla explored, the more disturbed she became, because the library held more than just history. It contained souls. As the days passed, strange things started happening. Team members began dreaming about places they'd never been, speaking in tongues they didn't understand, hearing voices call their names in empty rooms. One by one, they started vanishing. First the soldiers, then the scientists. Only Layla and Echo remained. One night she woke up standing in front of a new chamber, one she hadn't seen before. Inside, a mirror-like wall reflected nothing. But as she approached, the reflection changed. It rippled like water disturbed by a stone, and when it calmed, it showed a desert under 2 moons, a marketplace filled with strange creatures, and a voice calling her daughter. She wasn't dreaming. She was remembering a life she never lived, a past that wasn't hers. Yet somehow it was. Layla found herself drawn to the sphere. She reached out to touch it, and suddenly she was elsewhere. In the marketplace from her vision, the colors were brighter, the sounds more vivid. She could feel the wind on her skin, the sand between her toes. It was real, but how could it be? This world was supposed to be dead. Then she saw them, the people from her vision, the descendants of Al. They looked like her. They called her family. They welcomed her as one of their own. And Layla played their daughter, the lost child who'd come home after 12,000 years. For weeks, she lived among them, learning their ways, sharing their joys, their sorrows, their fears, their hopes. They showed her their wonders, their technology that defied understanding, their knowledge that spanned the cosmos, their art that expressed emotions beyond human comprehension. She loved them, their laughter, their stories, their songs. She missed her old life, but for the first time in her life she felt truly free. Free to be someone else, someone more. Free to explore a universe of infinite possibilities. Free to live forever. But then she remembered the other spheres, the other worlds, the other souls, and she knew she couldn't stay. She had to finish her mission no matter the cost. With a heavy heart, she said goodbye to her new family and returned to the library. She stood before the central chamber, the heart of the library, the source of its power, and she demanded answers from Echo, who built this place. Why am I seeing memories that aren't mine? What is this library really for? Echo paused, longer than usual. Then it spoke. This is not a record of the dead. This is a prison for souls who refuse to die. And you, Echo said, are not Layla Farouk. You are the last soul of Planet Ulna. And now, you are waking up, Layla screamed. But deep inside, she knew. Everything made sense now. The language, the visions, the way the spheres responded to her touch. She wasn't studying the dead, she was one of them. Days later, a rescue team arrived. They found the base abandoned, the AI offline, the library sealed shut. But in the central chamber, they found one thing left behind. A message carved into the black stone wall. Written in Arabic, it read, "We are still alive in memory. We are waiting for the next ones. And when your world ends, you will join us here." Beneath it, a new sphere pulsed softly, waiting, ready. To this day, Moon X-47 remains off. The library is locked, but sometimes when deep space probes pass by, they pick up faint signals, whispers, voices calling names, because the Library of Dead Worlds never stops collecting, and when Earth's time comes, you may find yourself remembered, stored, alive in death. This chilling tale draws inspiration from actual myths, legends, and historical events. Now check out more tales of cosmic horror and terrifying discoveries. And remember, when the darkness whispers to you, do not listen alone.